Okay, what's up, guys? We are talking football. I'm Patrick Hedgecock,
I'm Braden Sullivan.
and today we're going to do our last and final mock draft, pretty much an hour before the first round of the NFL 2021 draft on Thursday, April 29th. So we're gonna get this in crunch time, and I'm gonna get this video out as soon as I possibly can, so as to not be undermined by the actual timing of the draft. We're gonna do all 7 rounds. Eagles is Braden, and Giants is gonna be me. I'm going to focus more on some late round guys. Braden's going to focus more on some early round guys. But we're going to go in succession how the drafts would be if there was only two teams. So since I have the 11th pick, I am going to go first. I am choosing tackle Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. Genuinely, Giants could go any which way with this pick. The only thing I wouldn't like would be corner because I think we don't need it very much. It would be helpful, but not as helpful as O line or wide receiver or even Michael Parsons. But I think he's a versatile guy. He could be plugged in at guard, maybe play tackle, and we slide Pert in. Very versatile. Biggest Giants position of need. On to Braden.
All right, so I'm pretty sure half Eagles fans want a corner, half the Eagles fans want a wide receiver. I don't really know where to go, but I got two guys in mind that I really like. I like Devontae Smith. I like Jalen Waddle, but I'm gonna tell you, I like Terrace Marshall too. So that's why Terrace Marshall I think will be the second round pick. And I'll take J.C. Horn with the first. J.C. Horn's a physical corner. He fits in really well, and I think he could be a great corner too to Darius Slay. Terrace Marshall, he can also be your X receiver. He doesn't have to be your X receiver that you take in the first round. He may not be as good as Devontae Smith. He may not be as good as Jamar Chase, but he is still a top tier receiver, top 5 in the draft, maybe.
I'll give you
So
that.
it's still a good pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally give you that. And then there's been a lot of talk about J.C. Horn's very, he's aggressive. He's kind of a grabby guy. How that could translate to the NFL, and it's personally, my opinion, it's horrible pass interference rules and calls by the refs. They're doing their
Yeah,
job, but
a lot of people, a lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate it.
so I'm just thinking, could he possibly have issues with penalties in the NFL, or do you think that's not really a huge concern because guys have been doing that for ages?
I guess perhaps, but I like Jonathan Gannon. I have faith that he's a better corner coach. He's our defensive coordinator, but he translates as a better corner coach than our previous corner coach that or defensive backs coach that we had. So
It's true.
I think he can help with that if there is any problems, and he can also help improve Darius Slay. I know he didn't have the best year last year, so can also improve all of our defensive backs really. Devontae Max playing the slot can also improve that too. Didn't really have a good year either.
Hmm. That's fair. Okay, so then I believe it is my pick. At pick 42, I'm going to go to Mississippi wide receiver Elijah Moore. Oh, uh, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. This was my best mock draft. I don't think that is very realistic. I'm going to go to, I was saying in my head, that seems like it's not going to happen. I'm going to go to North Carolina wide receiver De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown is a vertical guy. He gets off the line very quick. Good release package. He's a tad underweight, but he plays physically and he abuses other people with his strength, which, while it's a rare occurrence, he has shown that he is very willing to use that power downfield, despite his little bit being undersized. Um, PFF has his comparison as Sterling Shepard. Guys, Sterling Shepard has been hurt. He is 27 years old, and he can't be our wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 forever. This is literally the exact perfect replacement for Sterling Shepard, and he has a little bit more of that deep threat. We can develop his routes more, and he can turn into the exact role that Sterling Shepard has now. Security blanket slot guy, but he can have a little bit more of that vertical threat than Sterling Shepard has on the Giants team right now. On the Braden.
Continuing with pick 70. This will be linebacker. This will be a name that not many people I think are familiar with, but Baron Browning, linebacker out of Ohio State. He is he could be better than Jabril Cox. I know a lot of Eagles fans love Jabril Cox, love how we could pick Jabril Cox in the second round. I think Baron Browning is underrated, really. He's got around the same size, probably weighs a little bit more than Jabril Cox. He's strong. He's decent in coverage, which I know most Eagles fans want a decent coverage linebacker. He's faster than Jabril Cox, so why not take a chance on a guy that might be a slight bit less rated than Jabril Cox? Take him a bit later in the draft when you after you know you can get your decent corner one and maybe your wide receiver one too, and then you can take your linebacker in the third round. You may still get some nice play from him, even if he doesn't start right away.
Okay, so then it's on to the Giants at pick number 76. I'm going to take Illinois guard, inside O lineman, Kendrick Green. Kendrick Green is a very explosive player. In 2020, he switched to center after playing guard for 2 years, and he had a career year, earning an 87.8 overall grade from PFF. He's an explosive run blocker and has a few issues in the pass game, but I think he could be a very good depth option and possibly a fill at guard. And what the Giants have been doing is making our offensive line younger and developing them into something that could resemble average or slightly above average. The Giants don't have any huge names on the offensive line right now aside from Nate Solder, who I would have been fine to cut, but you know what? Restructured him. We've got a lot of young guys, and why not add a young guy, Kendrick Green, to the mix who has a great run blocking and explosive ability and a little bit of versatility on the inside of the offensive line.
All right, on to pick 84. I'm a pick safety here. I'm gonna pick Hamza Nasruddin out of Florida State.
You
He
like
is
him.
Yeah, I like him too. He's he's uh he's a big safety. He's a strong safety. Plays over the top sometimes. We can also play sub
Apologize.
linebacker. Um, and we don't really have a stronger safety. We do have a strong safety, but we need a stronger free safety. And presumably, if you can play in the box, you could be or sit the bench for maybe a year. Maybe we don't re-sign Anthony Harris, so or Rodney McLeod leaves, we cut him, whatever, and then you step up, you could become the next Eagles safety. And you can even play sub linebacker, kind of like Jeremy Chin does for Carolina. Both have big size. It's, I think it's a really nice pick here, and that could be made the most of.
Yeah, okay. And then we have Giants at pick 166. I'm gonna pick edge out of Buffalo, Malcolm Kuntz. This guy would basically be a designated pass rusher if he found his way onto the field for the Giants. He plays average to subpar at the run. He doesn't exactly get moved out of the way, but he's definitely not the person making the play. Luckily, the Giants have some pretty decent interior defensive linemen. So that can, and also wonderful safeties that can step up, and a very good linebacker, very, very good tackling linebacker, especially in Blake Martinez, who can help him out there. Everywhere around him is good against the run. We need more pass rush. He is a very impressive pass rusher. He has a very good bend and he's very good at cornering. And bend, for those who don't know, is how low you can get to the ground while maintaining speed and power. It helps him to get around tackles. And now he might not play super well in the run game, but if we can have a versatile guy that can get himself a few sacks on limited playing snaps, I'm very happy to add him to the Giants.
All right, I'm also going to skip around. I'm going to skip to around the 150 area, maybe where this guy will fall. Demetric Felton, wide receiver slash running back at UCLA. Wide receiver slash running back. He played slot receiver in high school and some snaps in college, but he is primarily a running back.
Mhm.
Kind of a Cordero Patterson type player, but a little bit smaller, probably your average running back size. The reason I like this guy a lot is that Nick Sirianni, who's the offensive, he came from Indianapolis. He was the offensive coordinator in Indianapolis. He worked with this guy named Naeem Hines. Naeem Hines had so many yards after catch, and he had so many catches as a running back. Y'all remember Jonathan Taylor had a really nice run season. You're forgetting about Naeem Hines in the passing game. And Naeem Hines in the passing game was really dangerous for the Colts offense last year. One of the primary reasons they made it to the playoffs and no one saw it coming.
He
So I
definitely
like,
was.
yeah, he was. And if he's not your primary running back, just throw him in at slot receiver. He's a bit undersized, but still, he's a guy out there that can still get stuff done. That's why
Yeah,
I like Felton a lot.
yeah.
It's a perfect fit for Nick Sirianni's offense.
I'm sure Sirianni was the defensive backs. No, he's the defensive coordinator for the Colts, right?
Nick Sirianni's the offensive coordinator.
Oh,
Jonathan Gannon's the defensive backs
defensive
coach.
backs. Oh,
The,
I didn't realize Nick Sirianni was the offensive coordinator. Oh
Jonathan Gannon
well.
is our defensive coordinator, but was the defensive backs coach. So that's where it is.
I apologize. I'm getting obviously various Alexa alerts, which is great. Um, but yeah, the Colts utilized multiple running backs, right? In 2020, they had Jonathan Taylor, and then they had Marlon Mack and
He
Naheem
got hurt.
Hines. Yeah, I know Marlon Mack got hurt, but like still, they utilized a lot of running backs. Naheem Hines had a great year, and so did Jonathan Taylor. So I think definitely great pick for the Eagles.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Miles Sanders gets most of the snaps, but like
True.
Boston Scott will come in. He'll probably run some angler routes, some curls right up the middle. And then Demetric Felton, if he goes to the Eagles, can also do that too. So if for some reason we don't want to keep Boston Scott, which could happen, we just keep Demetric Felton. He's still on the rookie. He would still be on a rookie deal for most of the year. He would be a serviceable backup for Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Okay, so then my next pick is 196, and I'm going to choose halfback Puka Williams out of Kansas. So this is one of the guys I'm really excited about. I'm the chance of getting a pick right in the sixth, fifth, fourth, seventh, any of those late rounds is very, very hard. They're hard to predict. There's just so many options. But I love Puka Williams. Puka Williams runs like Saquon Barkley. Puka Williams is a home run hitter. He's the guy that waits behind the line of scrimmage, bounces it out, and takes the 40-yard run instead of falling forward behind his guard and taking the 7. He's the guy who wants the score every single down. And that makes me think he could have a place in the Giants. In 2020, Saquon Barkley got hurt. We know this, devastating, horrible. One of the reasons I believe Jason Garrett's play calling was so horrible in the beginning and middle of 2020 was because it was centered around Saquon Barkley. You center your offensive game plan around your best player, right? He got hurt. We had bad routes. We didn't have great receivers. We had a running back who had the exact opposite style. Wayne Gallman spent the third least amount of time behind the line of scrimmage. He's the guy that hits the hole, takes the 5 yards. That's not Saquon. That's not Puka Williams. If Saquon gets hurt, and I'm hoping, dear God, he does not, Puka Williams could fill that role and have a running style similar to his. And then for any of you guys who are somewhat interested in this prospect, go look up Puka Williams highlights in 2018 or 2019, whatever his rookie year was. They are astounding. He'll run through 5 guys and look like he was untouched because they missed so badly. He runs with a passion, and he could put a little more on the leg area, but he's going to have guys to work behind. He's going to have an NFL regime. He's going to have an NFL type of coaching staff and an NFL diet. He could turn into a guy that plays very similar to Saquon Barkley, who, if he got hurt, could be replaced by Puka. So, Brandon, what's your next pick for the Eagles?
I was just skipping around. I wasn't really focusing on picks
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you took Kendrick Green. And I had him at 123. So
Oh,
I didn't.
interesting. I haven't.
I
I'm at 76. I picked him early.
All right. Well, I'll just talk about one more prospect, the
Yeah,
last one.
yeah. I've
I'll
got one
talk
more too.
about Josh Matter Baby. Um, not many people know this, but he had one of the highest jumps I think maybe actually the highest. I don't know
Ever. Yeah.
ever. Yeah, at a combine or at a pro day slash combine, and it was like what 47-inch vertical or something, 48 inch,
Insanely high.
4 feet off the ground. That's ridiculous. He's also another jump ball type receiver. Now there are some issues with his lack of focus. His speed is obviously a big one, but that's the Alshon Jeffrey type player you're looking at, right? A jump ball guy. So it's it's a low end or it's a low risk type of pick, but I still like it because his name is also very fun to say. So why not?
It's a seventh or six round pick,
He's a
seventh round pick.
sixth, late sixth, early seventh,
It's
probably.
a
Yeah.
late sixth round pick. It doesn't matter.
No one's gonna be concerned if Howie Roseman somehow screws up that pick.
No,
I
no,
mean,
it's okay. You can choose the guy whose name you like. So I've got one more guy. He's an offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. His name is Cole Van Lanen. It's a It's a sixth round pick, guys. It's very hard to get great value out of a sixth round pick. I'm picking a guy for literally pulling guard schemes. I'm picking him because he could be a decent pulling guard. He is 6'5", 312 pounds, and his biggest strength is exploding into blocks. He picks up stunts well, and he can move linemen on double teams. All of this makes me think, all of this together makes me think, oh, he can pick up stunts well. He's smart enough to read the defensive plays and understand what's happening and, adjust to it. He could lead the way for a running back. He explodes in his blocks. He can move guys downfield at times. He can mirror players and he's pretty nimble, which means he can move around a lot. It's a six-round pick. You can't get these right. It's impossible. But Cole Van Lanen, offensive tackle to offensive pulling guard for the New York Giants, who's to say it doesn't happen?
so that will round up our prospects that we went over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2021 final mock draft. It's pretty good. Um, yeah, I mean that's it. I'm actually going to be streaming tonight on Wavy Scorpion. I'm going to be streaming Wavy Scorpion on Twitch, or I actually may stream on our YouTube channel, and I'll be just talking about the first round. Like I'll be watching it live and talking about it while I'm streaming. So if anyone wants to tune in, that would be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you all for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.